So I'm gonna tell you something you already know. Batman Arkham Knight is one of the shittiest PC ports of all time, if not the shittiest. People are saying, hey, GTA 4 was worse, and maybe it was. I didn't have a gaming PC back then, but I do now, and I totally met the recommended requirements. I expected that this would at the very least, run as good as it did in the Xbox One or PS4, but that is not the case. It runs like shit, it looks like shit, and when I tried to tweak things to make that not so shitty, well, then things got really weird. Because when you turn off motion blur, this is what happens. People disappear in detective mode. The one thing that's supposed to give you the edge actually makes it way harder. So for like, I don't know, an hour or two, I was playing with basically broken detective mode. Also, hit indicators didn't appear over people's heads, except when they did, because sometimes they would just appear, but usually they didn't. This is also something that happened when I turned off motion blur. I don't get it. I don't know why this is this way. I don't mind the no hit indicators because whatever, I like New Game Plus mode, makes me feel more like Batman, but no detective mode, that shit's fucking impossible at some point. I was already playing on hard mode too, so the fact that I couldn't see where people were, and oh my god, it got so fucking frustrating. So eventually I turned that off, I fucked with my settings a little more, and I got a decent frame rate. But the game still looked like fucking shit. Like, sometimes it looked okay, but like a lot of times textures wouldn't load, or they would load and then it just looked like fucking ass. I don't know. This is not the performance I expected from my 770 GTX. I thought, like, I don't know, it could at least look as good as Arkham Asylum did back when it came out in 2000, whatever the fuck. I don't know. But here's the sad thing, guys. I still went through and beat this game. I played like 24 hours of it. I'm not gonna go through and do all the side quests and shit, hoping that they're gonna fix it and they're gonna make it better, and then I'll play through New Game Plus mode on the PC port we all know we fucking deserve. But you know, I'm not sure if that'll ever come. Even still, I beat it, and the game that I played was still fantastic. I mean, still the best Arkham game they've ever put out, basically, except, you know, 1/4, 1/3 of the game is this fucking Batmobile tank shit that I am not a huge fan of. It was okay, it was fine, it broke up the combat and the Predator shit and the puzzles to a degree, but the way they crammed the fucking Batmobile into puzzles, the way there was a little too much of this tank combat stuff, it was goddamn annoying. And while the tank sections were not my favorite part of the game, I mean, the Batmobile is a key part of the Batman experience, and the fact that you can call it in whenever and just comes to you, it feels like pretty badass. To me, my Batmobile! Come on, I know you can do it, come on, any second now. So yeah, it ran like shit, it looked like shit a lot of the time, but you know what? I also ran into some weird glitches. Of course I did. Open world jank is pretty much required. If you're gonna have an open world, you're gonna have some fucked up shit. And I don't know if the other versions had this, or if this is just another unique feature of the PC version, but look at this stuff. You can now use pieces of the environment to actually take people out, like this light fixture, or I don't know, whatever this is. He does this when you specifically tell him to, but he also will just do it as you're like punching out combos and like combos XXX. You know, he'll like just jump off the wall, punch a dude in the face, shit like that. And it feels, I guess it feels the same, but it looks awesome, and that's really, I guess, the point. Also, you can pick up weapons now, which there were several times in the game where I was like, well, I'm about to fucking die, this is terrible, and I picked up a pipe in Streets of Rage style. I came back and beat the shit out of people, and wow, all of a sudden I was like, Batman, you should roll with the stick more. Maybe Nightwing's on something. Speaking of Nightwing, just the greater dual play aspect of, hey, now you're rolling with a buddy, kicking people's asses. That's cool. That's cool in the limited times they do that, but what's not cool is that there's all these characters and there's no challenge maps to play them in. So every time I got an opportunity to play as Robin or Nightwing or Catwoman, I jumped on that shit because I was never going to get to play with them ever again and anything else, apparently. Until they sell us the challenge maps and DLC, which I paid for the season pass, so I should get, but none of my DLC is available. I don't know what's up with that either. Another glitch? Probably. Game isn't even for fucking sale anymore, so I think this is not even one of their priorities.
Thanks, Dick. I appreciate it.
What are friends for, Bruce?
Boy, I hope these guys are actually knocked out and not just faking, because otherwise I think we might have just given away our secret identities. And no matter where you're starting, whether it's in the Batmobile, on a building, on the ground, grappling around and gliding around, feels fantastic. Better than it ever has before, because you are flying, you are just going. You are almost Superman levels of just going. And it's fast and it's fun, and I wish the frame rate was better. Oh, I'm sorry, were you trying to teach me how to blade dodge? In truth, this game left me incredibly conflicted because I'm really not sure how I'm supposed to feel. On one hand, yeah, this is actually the biggest middle finger that WB ever could have given to the PC gaming community. This is it. This is like the biggest, massive middle finger. However, on the other hand, I still had more fun playing this game than most games this year so far. Like, even with the technical issues, even fighting through them, even recognizing at some points the game looks like total dog shit, I still had an amazingly fun time being Batman. And that's the thing, the plot is awesome, the action is fantastic, and they've just honed the shit out of all these elements, and hey, you know what, the tank combat, it really isn't that bad. Just kind of grates on you after a while. At the end of the day, once they iron out all these technical issues, you should definitely play Batman Arkham Knight. It won't let you down. God, I hope it doesn't. God, I hope they fix this because, man, it is badass being the Batman.
I thought Arkham City was fun, but this is another level.
Wow, that was pretty meta.